It's time for week 5 in the NFL, up over 7 units so far. Let's keep it rolling. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back into another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and we are back talking NFL week 5, baby. That's right. I am jacked, ready to go with that Monday night win we just got with the Seahawks over the terrible New York Giants. We are now up 7.32 units on this channel through 4 weeks. I will gladly take it. We got to get to 20 this year because we fell just short last year. Got to get at least to 20 and then go from there. But NFL player props video comes out every Friday night, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to have a ton, probably 4 or 5. I think this is a good slate for player props this weekend. So I just woke up today feeling incredibly lucky that I get to do this. This is unbelievable. I wake up every day. I get to research sports. I get to talk to you guys in the community, and talk sports betting. I mean, what could be better than that? So this is a lot of fun, and I just want to say thank you guys for allowing me to do that. Now, with that, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new to the channel as we chase our first 7,000 subscribers in month like 13 on the channel, I think, or something like that. But it's been a lot of fun. So let's just keep it going. I got a lot to talk about today, like always. So here we go. Week 5 trends. Guys, if you are not following the trends, I had a couple people comment as to how unbelievable these trends are doing right now. It's crazy. Week 4 last week. Are you ready for this? 14-2 if you just blindly tailed all of the trends that I put out there. It's been crazy. 31-12 this year. 31-12. That is insane. If we didn't make any of our own bets and just bet the trends, we'd probably be the best channel on YouTube right now. I should be doing that. But with that, I'm going to have a trends parlay. That's right. We have a 3-leg parlay. We're going to do that every week. I'm not going to count it towards our official record, but let's have some fun with it. We're going to pick our 3 favorite trends, put it in a parlay, and just see if we can get some winners. So stay tuned for that. Also, I'm going to give you the best and worst run and pass defenses, like always, teams that are giving up the most and least rush yards per game and pass yards per game. Then we're going to preview that Thursday night football game between the Bears and the Commanders. And then we give you our NFL Week 5 best bets yet again and end it with that head-to-head bet as I got my first victory over Ryan last week. So I am 1-3. We got another one to talk about this week, so we are ready to roll. Now, no more babbling. Let's go. It starts with those NFL Week 5 trends. All right, let's go. 31-12 on the year on these trends. Let's see if they can stay hot. This first one is wild. The last 24 teams that played an overtime game and then had to turn around and play on a short week on a Thursday the next week are 3-21 against the spread. ATS means against the spread, and that is the Commanders on Thursday Night Football. But they do play the Bears, who also really suck. So in that trend, you take the Bears plus the points. Then we got Commanders. They've gone under 20 of their last 25 home games, and they are at home against the Bears. And then that Ravens-Steelers series, the big rivalry. If there's a team that's getting more than a field goal, that team is 18-2 against the spread, which means these games stay really, really close. And that's the case for the Steelers this weekend because they are getting 4 points against the Ravens. Saints, they've gone under now in 13 of the last 14. This has been on the trends every single week, and every single week it is cashed. I think it's at like 40 this weekend against another terrible offense in the New England Patriots. 16 of the Bills' last 22 games have gone over the first quarter total. I don't usually bet quarters, but let me know if you guys have been betting this because that's been very profitable. 16 of the last 22. And speaking of quarter bets, we got the Tennessee Titans. They've hit the fourth quarter under in 15 of their last 17. If you just blindly bet that in the last 17 games, you are up 12.8 units. That's just wild. The Giants, they have now been outscored 77-9 in the first half this year. That's right. Through 4 weeks, the Giants have 0 touchdowns scored in the first half. They have just been awful. All right, let's check out page 2 because I got some more for you. Falcons games have gone under in 10 of the last 13 games. We got the Lions continue their dominance, but guys, this isn't even just at home or anything. This is just the Lions are just machines at covering the spread. 12-2 now against the spread the last 14. Vikings games have gone over in 11 of the last 15 home games, and they are now at home playing the Chiefs. And I believe that total is around 53 now, so it is pretty high. Broncos 3-14-1 against the spread the last 18 games as a favorite. How about that? And they are favorites this weekend, believe it or not. 49ers 15-2 against the spread in their last 17 games at home. They got the big Sunday night football matchup with the Dallas Cowboys at home. They are 3.5-point favorites. This last one is just for fun. I'm going to be honest. It means probably nothing. But the games with 10 or more miles an hour of wind at kickoff are 96-50 to the under, because it's probably harder to pass, I would guess. the last 3 seasons. And so far this year in those games, it's 4-0 to the under, and it's gone under by a lot, by an average of 9.4 points per game. So maybe that just gives you a little edge. If you find a game, you're looking at weather and you see which game has 10 or more miles an hour wind. I didn't look it up because it's at kickoff and it's just too early to look that up anyway. So, anyways, those are the week 5 trends. Let's see if they can stay hot. But now it's time to talk some good and bad run and pass defenses. Top 10 run defenses here, starting with the Lions, 60.8 yards per game. Pretty freaking impressive considering they were one of the worst run defenses last year. I just thought this was interesting. You got a big discrepancy. I mean, even just from 1 to 10, Patriots 101 and the Lions 60.8. Seahawks have been a surprise there at number 6 as they struggled last year. But Eagles, 49ers, and Titans, those three have just been steady Eddie. Those are just three hard teams to run on, and it'll be the case every single weekend, no matter who they face. You already saw the Lions also shut down the Falcons this year in their run game. Ravens, Jaguars, Bucks. Bucks have always had a good run defense. I think the Ravens and Jaguars are two teams that have improved in that way, and then also the Browns. So those are the top 10 run defenses. Let's go check out the 10 teams that are mightily struggling. How about the Broncos giving up 176 yards per game on the ground? That's pretty bad, guys. How about Bengals? 157, Packers 155. I mean, it's just not pretty, guys. The Giants are bad at everything. Raiders 134. Colts do have a decent pass defense, but their run defense has been a little leaky, and the Cardinals the same at 132 per game. So those are the worst 10 run defenses. Let's go check out now the top 10 teams against the pass, and we have the Browns at 125. Pass rush is huge when it comes to pass defenses, as we talked about before. Cowboys, great pass rush. Ravens have been better against the pass, which is very surprising because last year they struggled, but they were also hurt quite a bit. Bills just dominant, but something to note of the Bills: Tre'Davious White, their number one corner, I believe he is out for the season. Another huge loss for the Bills. He got hurt last year too. That's just a big blow for that Buffalo defense. Falcons 176, getting more pressure on the quarterback also helps, but that's a heavy improvement from last year. And then other than that, Chiefs have been playing good D. Texans, we know, have been playing good on the pass defense, just not on the run defense as much. But yeah, Patriots are usually up there every single year. But reminder, the Patriots defense, their number one corner, Christian Gonzalez, and their number one linebacker, Matthew Judon, are both out. And I think Judon's out for the year, or at least a long time. So that is huge. Those are their two best defenders. So those are the best pass defenses. Let's check out the worst pass defenses now. And we got the Broncos again down there at 285.5. Chargers 299.8 right now. That's just not pretty. Bears struggling. Seahawks are just struggling. They shut down the Giants, but I'm pretty sure I could get 10 friends together and shut down the Giants as well. Steelers 254.5. Getting some pressure on the quarterback, but still struggling. It's really just TJ Watt, to be honest with you. And then the Eagles. When you watch Darius Slay and Bradbury, they just haven't been the same as last year. Last year they were dominant, but this year, I don't know. They're just struggling for whatever reason. They do stop the run well, luckily with that front four though. So, and then Titans have improved a little bit, but they're still here holding on to the bottom 10 spot at 241.3 yards per game. So those are the worst pass defenses. Let's talk some free squares for that Thursday night football game. There it is. Justin Fields over a half of passing yards on Thrive Fantasy, guys. It is a free square, giving you half of your parlay, a third of your parlay, whatever you want to do. Use the promo code Jabo. They are handing you free money. I don't know what else I can say about this. 100% first deposit match up to $250 for new users if you use the promo code Jabo or the link below. Justin Fields, he's got to get one pass yard, right? I know he's struggling, but that's a no-brainer. So you got to use that. Then you can add it to one of your legs in the parlay. You got 2 out of 2. You get 3.2 times your money, 3 to 3, 4 to 4, all that. You can see it on the chart right there, guys. It's free money and a half of your next bet if you do a 2-leg parlay. I mean, it is a great deal. Eligible in over 30 states, so you got to go use it if you are in one of those states. So that's what we got for Thrive Fantasy. I am so incredibly jacked for this unbelievable Thursday night football game. Just joking. This game absolutely sucks. It is the Bears at the freaking Commanders. If you have something else to do on Thursday night, I would recommend you go do it. But we got the Commanders -6, over under 44.5. Bears are 0-3-1 against the spread this year. Commanders 2-2 against the spread. Commanders coming off that overtime loss to the Eagles. We already talked about that trend, and 3-21, the last 24 teams that are coming off overtime going to play a Thursday night game. And then Washington got under 20 the last 25 at home, like we mentioned. Commanders only have a 22.4% quarterback pressure rate, which is kind of surprising to me because that is supposed to be the strength of their defense. I'm not really impressed by their defense, to be honest with you, lately. But this is a great matchup because they're facing the Bears, who have one of the worst offensive lines, probably the second worst behind the Giants. Bears are coming off that second half meltdown against one of the worst teams in the NFL in the Broncos. But Fields did have the best game of his career, except for a fumble, scoop, and score, and an interception to end the game. But that was against the worst defense in the Broncos, who also get the least amount of pressure in all the NFL on quarterbacks. So the Commanders, even though it's only 22.4, they still should get a little bit of pressure on Fields. The Bears have given up the fourth most pass yards and only generate 15.1% quarterback pressure rate this season, also themselves. That's second worst in the league to those Broncos. I mean, they just cannot get into the quarterback. I expect Sam Howell to have a nice, comfy little pocket back there. Um, and I also expect Brian Robinson to have a good game. We're going to talk about that right now. So here we go. My best bet. Now, just before I give it out, I would not bet this game if it's regular on a Sunday. It's a primetime game, so I dug even deeper into it, and I got a bet that I really love. So let's get a winner. Now, alt lines: Terry McLaurin, 40 plus receiving yards, and Brian Robinson, 50 plus rush yards. I got that at minus 105 on FanDuel. Let's talk Scary Terry from the Ohio State University first to get 40 more receiving yards. He is the go-to guy for Sam Howell. Jahan Dotson, I thought was going to be the guy. I even drafted him in some fantasy leagues, but he is that's not been the case at all. McLaurin, 19 catches on 22 targets in the last 3 games. He has gone over this in 3 straight games. And the Bears, get this, have allowed 8 wide receivers and 2 tight ends already this year to get 40 plus receiving yards. It's only been 4 weeks. Congratulations, Bears. You are just so awful. The volume and matchup alone should be an easy over 40. I wouldn't be shocked if he gets 80 to 100 yards this game, but I went down to 40. Now, next one might be a little bit tighter, but I still love it. Brian Robinson, 50 plus rush yards. His real line is at like 64. I just went down to 50. He's averaging a little over 15 carries per game this season and 4.3 yards per carry. That dropped a little bit after he played that Eagles defense last week. Those averages alone, if he just hits the average, he's going to get around 65 rush yards. We only need 50. He has been over in 3 of the 4 games this season. Only the game he didn't was last week when he got 45 yards against a top 3 rush defense in the Eagles. That's still only 5 yards short, guys. He is now playing the Bears, who have given up 72 rush yards to McLaughlin last week, 62 to Pacheco, 55 to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and 73 to Rachaad White of the Buccaneers, who has been graded as being one of the most inefficient runners and worst runners in the NFL this year. That is 4 running backs that have already gone over this total and gone over by quite a bit. The great game script, I think, is going to lead to even maybe a few more carries in the fourth quarter if the Commanders have the lead. They shouldn't be playing from behind that much because it is the Chicago Bears. So that's my best bet. Give me Terry McLaurin, 40 plus receiving yards, Brian Robinson, 50 plus rush yards as Thursday Night Football winner. That's the winner. I know it is. We've hit 2 or 3 primetime games in a row. Let's keep the streak going. So that is Thursday Night Football, and now it's time for Week 5 Best Bets. All right, let's go. I got 2 more best bets before we get into that trends parlay, and then Ryan will give us his few best bets. Here we go. The first game takes us out to Denver, Colorado. The Broncos are minus 1.5 with an over-under of 43.5. My best bet is simple in this game, guys. I am taking the Jets money line at plus 110 on DraftKings. Why in the hell are the Broncos favorites? I don't understand it. I'm getting plus money for a competent team in the Jets to play against this Broncos team. Are you kidding me? It's no secret the Broncos are the worst defense in the league, giving up the most points in the league, the most rush yards per game in the league, and the second most pass yards per game in the league. And the wildest thing about all that is 3 of the 4 teams they've played are not even that great of offenses. We're talking the Raiders, the Commanders, and the Bears. That's right, the Bears. Broncos offense has been average so far this year. They've gone up against here. This is what's also crazy. Their offense, we all say, oh, they've been decent. Russell Wilson's been okay, and I've said that before. They're not the problem. It's the defense, but their offense. Here's who they've faced this year: the 24th, the 28th, the 29th, and the 31st best defenses in the league, and that's going off points per game. They have played bottom 10 defenses every single game this season. And now they're going up against the Jets. We all know the Jets have a good defense. They're not top 5 like we thought they would be, but they are definitely towards the top of the league. They are going to be the best matchup for the Broncos. This defense just made Mahomes look terrible last week. We all saw that one. I just think the Broncos are going to have a big step up in competition here. And now the Jets. If you watch them, I like what I saw against the Chiefs last weekend. They played a lot more up-tempo offense. Zach Wilson looked a little bit better. I'm not going to sit here and say Zach Wilson is a great quarterback. He doesn't need to be to beat this Broncos team. We're talking about a Broncos team that literally just made Justin Fields look like freaking Tom Brady or Joe Montana. That Justin Fields. It's Zach Wilson could do enough in this game to win it. Now, if you look at the Jets side, they should have won last week. If you watch that game against the Jets, they didn't, or against the Chiefs. It is what it is. But this is going to be now their easiest matchup of the year. So the Broncos are going to be playing their hardest team. The Jets are going to have the easiest one. They have had a tough schedule so far. Zach Wilson should have the best pocket he's ever had all year because he is facing the Broncos, who we already mentioned, get the least amount of pressure on quarterbacks in the NFL. This Jets offense so far has faced the Bills defense, the Cowboys defense, the Patriots defense, and the Chiefs defense. Guys, that's insane. Absolutely insane. I'm not saying Zach Wilson's a good quarterback, but I mean, guys, now he gets to play the Broncos. A huge step down in competition. I have no idea why they're saying the Jets are going to be underdogs in this game. I think Brees Hall has a good game. I think the offense does enough. I think the Jets can get to Russell Wilson and just expose them for their flaws. So, really, all in all, guys, I'm getting plus money for a team that has faced much better teams than the Broncos, and a Broncos team that's facing the best team they faced all year. Give me the Jets to win this freaking game outright. I think they win by 7 to 10 points. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I know I'm tailing a bad quarterback in Zach Wilson, but I mean, this Jets roster, we're talking about a team that people picked to go to the Super Bowl, and I understand that was with Aaron Rodgers, but that obviously meant we thought they had a good roster. This Broncos team does not. Russell Wilson and Sean Payton are a terrible mix in personality. It's going to be a long year in Denver. They should have lost to Chicago last week. They needed a big comeback. I think they're down 21 at one point to the Chicago Bears, guys. Give me the Jets on the money line as my first best bet. Let's go to game number 2. All right, game number 2 takes us out to Atlanta, Georgia. We got the Falcons -2 hosting the Houston Texans with an over-under of 41 points. This is probably going to go against the public. Well, I know it is, and it's not going to be a popular pick. But here we go. My bet is the Falcons money line at -125. I'm not going to do the -1, -2. I saw -125 on the money line for DraftKings. I'm going to take that. Falcons could play a close game. They've won a game by 1 already this year, so I don't want to lose it that way. Now, the Texans are coming into this game flying high. I get that. I've been impressed by them. They just crushed the Steelers and the Jaguars the last 2 weeks, okay? But let me give you 3 reasons why I love this game. First of all, you can't just go off what you just saw in 1 week or anything like that. This is a good spot for the Falcons. First, the Texans lost another offensive lineman. They literally have backups all over the offensive line now. And why that's tough on this matchup, the Falcons have the 4th highest quarterback pressure rate in the NFL. So they should get after Stroud. I know it's surprising. I was shocked too, but they have been getting after the quarterback a lot better this year. Number 2, Falcons do one thing well on offense. It's run the ball. Bijan Robinson is one of the best running backs in the NFL. If the coach just pulls his head out of his you-know-what and gives him the ball more and stop making Ritter throw the ball over and over, they will be fine. And I think they're going to do that here in this game. Texans struggle to stop the run. They have given up 71 rush yards to Najee Harris. That's not good, guys. The Steelers' offense or running game is not good. 71 is quite a bit. 88 to Travis Etienne, 88 to Zach Moss. Bijan in this Falcons rush offense is one of the best in the league. I think they run all over him. And don't ask Spencer Strider, Desmond Ritter to do that much this game. Third one, I kind of mentioned it earlier. It is a great sell high, buy low spot right now. You can't get any higher than the Texans right now. They're getting a ton of respect out there, and I get it. They've looked good for a couple weeks, but now they got to go on the road to Atlanta. Atlanta had 2 road games in a row. They're going to be very happy to get back home here. I just think the Falcons, this is a good spot for them. Everyone is counting them out. They started the year out 2-0, and now they're 2-2. It's just kind of you can't just judge it off one game, in my opinion. Any team's best game or any team's worst game. If I just look at this matchup, I like the Falcons' run game against the Texans. Think the Falcons can get after Stroud in this one. I know Stroud hasn't thrown a pick, and I am very impressed with Stroud. I think he's a good quarterback. He's got a great future. This is all just about this week right here. So as long as Ritter doesn't screw me and just throw the ball a ton and throw 3 picks or anything like that, I like the Falcons. I do realize I am now backing Zach Wilson and Desmond Ritter in these 2 bets, but in reality, they got to beat the Broncos and the Texans. So give me the Falcons as my best bet number 2. And now let's check out our first edition of the Trends Parlay. Okay, the Trends have been crushing it this year, as I mentioned earlier in the video, 31-12. So we thought, let's have some fun with it and do a Trends Parlay every week. So here's how it works. It's not official. It's just to have some fun. And me and Ryan talked about it. We picked our 3 favorite trends on the sheets that I did earlier in this video. So go check it out if you are someone that just fast forwards to the best bets. Those have been huge. So here we go. Under 40 in the Saints and Patriots. Dolphins -6.5 in the first half, and the 49ers -3.5 in the full game. You put that together, you get plus 565. That's right. Let's just give it a try. Let's see how this goes. First, real quick, now these I'm going to give you a few reasons as to why we like it on top of the trends. Under 40 Saints Patriots, I mean, duh. I mean, that trend of where the Saints have gone under in almost every game is crazy, but these two offenses just absolutely stink. They're absolutely terrible. Carr and the Saints offense, I went on a rant about him in the Sunday night video and the takeaways. They've been terrible. They don't stretch the field at all. They threw to Alvin Kamara. He caught 13 passes for 33 yards. There's just nothing about them that scares you. And then you look at this Patriots offense. Somehow Mac Jones is regressing, and it just has not been pretty. And these are two defenses that have played really well. This has like 17-13 written all over it. I mean, I just don't see this game getting even close to 40. Well, it might get close. 40 is pretty low, but that's the first leg. Second leg, Dolphins -6.5 in the first half. They just have to be up by 7. That's it. The trend here, if you didn't see it already, the Giants suck in the first half, being outscored 77-9. That's right, no touchdowns in the first half. They should be without their offensive linemen, one or two of them, I believe. Saquon Barkley is questionable. All of that doesn't really matter because the Giants just suck. They have the worst O-line in the league, probably, and Daniel Jones just doesn't know what he's doing. In his defense, the O-line is terrible, but I don't think he's very good either. The Dolphins offense, they struggled last week against the Bills. We talked about them also in the takeaways last Sunday night. But they're going to look to get back on track here. They are at home, and they're going to be playing for blood after what just happened against the Bills. I think they come out putting up a lot of points, probably get to 30 or more. But in the first half, I think they come out hot after that loss, and the Giants just continue to suck. So give me the Dolphins, -6.5 the first half. The final one is Sunday Night Football, the 49ers -3.5. That half could be dangerous. I know that. That's a big hook there. But the trend here that we're following, 15-2 in the last 17 games at home for the 49ers, just unbelievably dominant. I think they're going to be able to push Dallas around a little bit with the running game, maybe some play action passes. Without Trayvon Diggs, they're a little bit more weak on the outside. I just don't trust Dak either versus good defenses, and I think the 49ers will be able to get some pressure on them. So those are a few reasons why we like that. Now, I'm telling you this because these are trends parlay. I'm not saying these are my absolute best bets in the year or of the weekend. I'm saying these are 3 trends that we're going to tail because, like I said, 31-12 on the season with those trends. So, and these are the ones we like the most. So, give me the under 40 in the Saints Patriots, Dolphins -6.5 in the first half, and the 49ers -3.5 at a whopping plus 565. Not official, but I'm putting some money on it. Hopefully, you guys can sprinkle on it and we get a nice winner for the weekend. So, those are the best bets and the trend parlay. Let's go see what Ryan has cooking.
What's going on, Jabu community? Hope everyone is doing fantastic. Man, last week was a struggle for me. 0-2 my best bets, and I lost to Steven the head-to-head, so man, a big struggle, but I'm going to bounce back. I got to do better. First game, we're going to London, where the Jaguars are facing the Bills. Bills are the home team, but let's be real. Jags play here often. They even played here last week, so they know this turf pretty well, or the field pretty well. Now, the Buffalo Bills -5.5 as the spread, over under 48 points. And that's where my bet is going. We're going with the over 48 points. Now, the Buffalo Bills, man, their offense is rolling lately. In the last 3 weeks, 48 points, 37 points, and 38 points. Just smoking. Josh Allen, wide receivers, running back, everybody has got it rolling on that end. The Jaguars, we thought their offense, or I thought their offense was going to be better right away or right out the get go, and they were going to be tough to contain. But they've done okay, nothing great. 31 points, 23 points, and 17 points in 3 of the 4 games this year so far. I'm thinking that this is their let's get right. Let's show the world what we still have as an offense, and put up some points. I do think and feel like the Bills are going to carry a lot of this weight. It's only 48 points. I just don't feel like that's high enough for these two teams, especially the Bills and the Jags, who could eventually get it going. Josh Allen last week, oh man, 320 yards, 4 touchdowns, a perfect quarterback rating, and he's just throwing, to Diggs, to Gabe Davis, and the Jaguars really struggle at guarding wide receivers. They give up a rating of 96.3. That is no good. So, wide receivers can still go off against the Jags, and that's what we need to, help with the over. James Cook, running back for the Bills. 5.3 yards per carry. He's smoking too. Just, they got it going everywhere. Tight ends, running backs, receivers, kind of like I already mentioned. Trevor Lawrence last week. He put up a quarterback rating of 105.8. Not bad. It's pretty good, but his yards and touchdowns weren't there. But he's, keeping a hold of the ball and doing those things. The part that scares me a little bit in this game is the defense for the Bills. Obviously, they're solid, but here's the thing. They have a great pass rush. I mean, just like one of the best in the league. But the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence are really good at making sure Trevor Lawrence doesn't see that pressure. Either Trevor Lawrence gets rid of the ball quickly or the line is blocking great. They're like one second best at keeping the quarterback upright. Not necessarily upright, but quarterback pressures. So second best in the league against a really good defensive line and that pass rush, figuring out which one's going to win that battle. And my bet, my hope is definitely going to be the Jaguars. The Bills struggle against guarding tight ends, and the Jaguars have a pretty decent one in Evan Ingram. He's gone over 49 yards in every single game this year, so I expect him to kind of pick it up and do pretty decent. And man, I just, it's time for the Jaguars to get it right. They're going to show the world, like I said, what they're really kind of made of. So my best bet in this game is the over 48 points at minus 112. Now let's go check out my other bet. I'm going to go with a moneyline parlay for this one. It's at plus 117. I got the Eagles over the Rams and the Chiefs over the Vikings. Now, the Eagles and Rams, let's talk about that a little bit. Jalen Hurts last week, oh baby, 319 yards, 2 touchdowns, 112 quarterback rating. The first 3 weeks he was solid, he did okay, but last week he got it going now. So watch out. This could be something special for a little while. AJ Brown, 130 plus yards in the last 2 games. So very solid. Last week, 2 touchdowns against the Commanders. Smith is doing his thing. Swift for this year, 6.2 yards per carry, and that was even it going down because the Commanders held him to like somewhere which like a 4, which is still pretty solid, but 6.2, man, that's really great. Now the Rams, they struggled against Anthony Richardson trying to stop him running the ball. Passing, he was okay, but they gave up 5.6 yards per carry to Anthony Richardson, and Jalen Hurts, he likes to run too. So look to Jalen Hurts to run, pass, be able to do what he needs to do since he's kind of figured it out and got it going last week. Now, the defense for the Eagles, they have a pretty decent pass rush. It's nothing like top of the league, but it's eighth best at 39 quarterback pressure rate in the league. Eighth best, like I said, and they do very, very solid against stopping the run. 2.9 yards per carry at stopping the run. So the Rams, they're not a great running team, rely on the pass, and they're getting a decent pass rush. Now, Matthew Stafford already this season is seeing a quarterback pressure rate of 43.4%, 29th worst in the league. Man, that is not good. And now you're getting a Eagles defense that likes to get after it. And gets to the quarterback. So I just don't see that as a good mix. So I see the Eagles taking care of business, staying undefeated, going 5-0 against the Rams. And the next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Vikings. This is just two opposite teams. One team that can't figure out a way to win, and with the Vikings, and then we got the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes and great teams. They just figure out ways to win, even if they're struggling and things like that. But I don't really see this one as a struggle. More so, I see this as a get right game, kind of a bounce back game for the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Last week against the Jets, Patrick Mahomes kind of struggled and those things, but this Vikings defense is not good at stopping the pass, especially against wide receivers. Man, they give up a rating of 111.1 rating against the pass, and that is 30th in the league. Just terrible. And now you're getting one of the best or the best quarterback in the league coming off of one of his worst games as a pro. You don't think he's trying to bounce back and look like the MVP type of quarterback that he is? So look at that. I mean, just not good. Now, against tight ends, the Vikings also struggle. And who do they have? The Chiefs have Travis Kelce, one of the best pass catching, blocking tight ends there is. The quarterback or the rating against tight ends for the Vikings, 99.1 rating. That is freaking terrible. So this matchup is just, favoring the Chiefs big time. I know the Vikings are the home team, but when you're facing Patrick Mahomes, and this Kansas City offense and everything that they do, that's not enough. You definitely need more. Chiefs know how to win. Patrick Mahomes knows how to win, and like I said, that's the opposite for Kirk Cousins. Just struggles, doesn't know how to find ways to win. Last year they did. This year, not so much. The Chiefs' pass rating against receivers has actually been pretty solid, and that's what a lot of the Vikings rely on. Yes, they got Hawkinson, but I mean Justin Jefferson and whatnot and their group. but the Chiefs pass rating against the pass, 77.9 rating. That's pretty solid. Against the tight ends, they're not the greatest against the tight ends, but you only got one, and it's not a big play threat. So I'm liking the like once again matchups is huge in the NFL, and this one is just leaning that way. Um, Cousins has been sacked 2 times at least each game, and the Kansas City is pretty decent at getting to the quarterback. So give me this money line parlay at my plus 117 for the Eagles and Chiefs both to get a victory. Now it's time for me to figure it out and get it going against the head-to-head. I got to win another one. Go 4-1. Steven and me are head-to-head. That's one of my favorite parts. Let's take a listen to that.
All right, here we go. It is time for the head-to-head bet between me and Ryan for Week 5. If you've been following us, you know I finally got my first win. I am 1-3 against him, but that's just the start of a huge winning streak, baby. That's right. Here we go. The head-to-head bet for Week 5 is between the Lions and the Panthers. I am taking the Lions -10, and Ryan has the Panthers -10. Because if I took the Panthers +10, that would mean I would be tailing Zach Wilson, Desmond Ritter, and Bryce Young. There's no way I'm doing that this week. So I got the Lions. Ryan, I'll let you take the floor first. Why are the Panthers covering this game?
Okay, 10's a lot, obviously. That's a bunch of points. And in the last few games, I mean, they've done decent for the most part. They've covered the spread or the 10 points. Bryce Young's playing. He did decent against the Vikings, except for fumbling at the end and them scoring. So, like, they were up like by 6 points in a half. They forgot to score any points in the second half, but their defense played solid. Those things. Uh, he's passing the ball decently better. And I mean, 10 points. Like, no, what are you shaking your head? I'll disagree with whatever you have to say because I feel you got something coming.
All right, so it's obviously Ryan's argument is that they're getting 10, and that's a lot. So here's the deal, guys. I got a trend backing me up. The Lions 12-2 against the spread in the last 14 games. Panthers are averaging 16.8 points per game. That's it. Bryce Young is not taking any chances down the field. He's just not very good. He doesn't have receivers that can get open. This is not a good offense, not a good team. The play calling is conservative. It's just pathetic right now on offense. The only chance the Panthers have at moving the ball is running it. Here's 2 issues with that. DeAndre Swift may not play. Lions #1 team against the run. I mean, what else do I need to say, guys? I almost took the Panthers team total under as the best bet this weekend. Goff has been the most profitable quarterback in the NFL for like the last 5 seasons. It's been unbelievable. He just keeps getting disrespected. I know this is not really disrespect, it's 10 points. But he's been solid. They are back at home where they play, and their offense is usually high flying. They were the highest scoring team last season at home. Panthers are bad versus the run, also 136.3 yards per game given up. This Lions offense, just like you saw in their last game on prime time, their offensive line should absolutely manhandle this Panthers team. They should just control this game. I expect another like 17-point win by the Lions to go 13-2 in their last 15 against the spread. All right, there you go, Ryan.
What about St. Brown? Isn't he questionable or hurt or probably won't play? He's a big threat. The Panthers' pass defense is very solid. 6 bets. You already pointed that out in the league. So they have some stuff. They've also, like I kind of was saying, they've been in a lot of games in just late game situations, whether it's a fumble or whatnot, is where they lost it. So they stay close, stay in it, and 10 points. That's easy pickings for me.
If David Montgomery gets 20 carries and Jameer Gibbs gets 15 carries, they're just going to dominate them. They're just going to literally, you're going to see a bunch of grown men on the Lions team be pushing that Panthers defensive line back just like we saw on TV and like they do every single week. And you
That,
know what? The crazy thing about this is the Panthers, even if what if let's just say they hit their average of like 16 points. All the Lions need to do is score 27. They can hit 27 easily at home. Guys, come on. That's not even a contest. The Seahawks just put up like 50 on them.
that was all at the end, very last like type of
And it
minute type of
counts.
thing.
The end counts. The end counts. Every quarter
Okay, you're
counts.
right. Counts the in counts, but they're just not going to make the bad decisions. And running the football that doesn't help, get away from or get a huge lead that makes you control the game and win the game. But you don't dominate a team as far as like points wise. So I
You
feel like
do
that
if you
helps me too.
score. You do if you score in those drives.
I guess.
Yeah. Anyways, that's the head-to-head bet. I got the Lions -10. Ryan has the Panthers +10. Leave a comment below, Team Steven or Team Ryan. We are going to be doing a giveaway again here in the next couple weeks sometime with this head-to-head bet. Not yet this time, but leave a bet. I'm watching you guys. I'm seeing who keeps betting Team Ryan every single week. I see you. But leave that comment below. That's what we got. Those are all of our best bets and our head to head bet. Now, let's check out that bets recap. There we go. Can we stay hot in the NFL? Thursday Night Football, McLaurin 40 plus receiving yards, Brian Robinson 50 plus rush yards at minus 105. Those are alt lines, obviously. And then I got the Jets money line to beat the terrible Denver Bronco team at plus 110. Falcons money line to bounce back and win at home for minus 125 odds. And then I got that trends parlay, not an official bet, but a fun one. And we're going to probably do this every weekend. Under 40 in the Patriot game, Dolphins minus 6.5 in the first half, and the 49ers minus 3.5 on Sunday Night Football. Then Ryan, over 48 in the Buffalo Jacksonville game. Just a reminder that game is in London, so it starts at 6:30 a.m. our time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Eagles and Chiefs money line parlay, baby, plus 117 on DraftKings. And then the head to head bet right there. I got the Lions minus 10. He has the Panthers plus 10. My winning streak started last week because I'm counting one game as a winning streak. And it's going to keep rolling. I feel a big one coming on. So those are our best bets for week 5. Thank you guys for all the freaking support that you guys are giving us. It is so awesome. It makes us want to do this and grind every single day. Cannot thank you guys enough. Reminder, the NFL player props video is coming out late Friday night, like always. We've been on a roll with those, so I'll probably have 4 or 5 good player props that I'll like this weekend. So smash that like button, leave a comment below. Team Steven, that's all I want to see. All over the comments, Team Steven. So thank you guys again. I hope everyone enjoys some football, and we'll talk to you soon.